Yo, what it be, what it is, what it will be. What's the deal, man?
What's going on, man? Y'all doing this afternoon or this
I'm
evening?
good. I'm good.
What's going on, brothers?
Getting by, man. Getting by.
You sound like you was getting ready to break out in the song.
I was, but I ain't feeling it in my throat, so
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. Oh, so when when people can sing,
mm,
they can tell by how they throat feel then, huh?
nah, no, not really. Because people who can sing, they just sing, man. You know,
Hmm.
I can sell the shit out of a song, man. Because you believe me when I sing.
So
It,
you're a crooner.
no, not really. I mean, it's the emotion, man. It's not really. It's not. It's because singing is a skill set. You can teach. You can be taught to sing.
No,
You can. You can. There's
I cannot.
exercises.
I cannot catch a note at all, ever.
You ain't did the training, man. If you train your diaphragm and your whatever else you need to say like you trained when you was playing basketball or whatever. It's a skill. Seriously, it's a skill.
But that basketball and football was a gift. I honed the gift that I was given. You see what I'm saying?
But
Well,
you
here's the thing, bro. Sometimes it just come natural, like Fred Flintstone. Scoop it up, stupid it, pow, pam. A scoop it, with it, pow. A go, 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 go.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I don't care.
Sometimes you just be feeling it, bro.
I don't care. Fred destroyed that. You hear me?
listen to him. Listen to him rock. Listen to him roll.
Yo,
Listen to the Ricky Ticket. Listen to the Mockingbird. Listen to the Mockingbird. It's like
yeah.
Fred
Do
had
you
the head.
hear?
Yeah. Fred had the hair slicked back and shit.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
he did.
sir.
He did have hair slick back, didn't he?
Yeah,
With the glasses.
yeah. Was he? What was he? Was he old school talking about? Yeah,
Hey, what
yeah,
about what about old boy and Juicy? Scooby wow, wow, wow.
yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
know what's so crazy? The Flintstones was meant
Oh
to
man,
be an adult cartoon,
that's why
which
I'm
is
People,
saying.
crazy. Which
people,
is
was,
crazy. Yeah.
people would say that about cartoons, man. Yeah, because everybody, y'all. I think it was y'all that told me that Bugs Bunny was meant for adults. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you how because they created Bugs Bunny for the filler in the movie theater, like the little 3 minute joint stuff
Hmm.
like that.
Mhm.
But it became popular, so they expanded on it. And then the kids were the ones who like really like made Bugs what it was. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they called them shorts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
Bugs lost me when he started cross dressing and shit though.
Hey, look. Uh,
Seducing Elmer and shit.
yeah, when he was giving kisses and all that. And yeah, now, look. I wasn't repulsed, but I'm like, well, why?
I ain't
That's
think
not
about
funny. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
That's how,
we
as a kid, that's how I look. I was like, that's not funny. You know?
we was cheering.
it. Yeah. Hey man, you know what the funniest, most offensive thing I ever seen on Bugs Bunny was when he went to Australia and he was getting chased by the Aboriginal dude.
With the
Did y'all see
bone in
that
his
shit?
nose, with the bone in
Yeah,
his nose.
yeah.
Man, look, I can't look. Let me tell you something. When I became of age,
Hmm.
like uh, junior, senior year in high school, a lot of the cartoons that I could watch and I loved, Tom and Jerry and all that. Remember that her
Yeah.
Tom's owner was the black lady. You
She,
know what I'm saying?
she was the Thomas. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was. Oh
I
man.
could not do it no more, man.
Yeah.
And y'all know that was our favorite time of the year because the summertime, all those Bugs Bunny shorts used to come on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And the sister, she kept on house shoes too.
Slipping house shoes and was always either washing dishes or cooking.
Yeah, she was the maid. Yeah. And she had the brownest hands with the pinkest palms. I said,
Yep,
what the fuck,
yep,
man?
yep.
And these people nowadays don't think we don't catch the little slick shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, we that was our steady diet. You know what I mean? I I tell you though, it's what I realized as a child, and maybe because I was. Tell me what y'all think about this. As a child, maybe because I was naive, I was more entertained by the cartoons that we saw and everything that we saw. I was more entertained by that. You know what I'm saying? Because with the naivete, it's optimism. You feel what I'm saying? It's optimism, man. And as I grew older, and the seeds that was planted in me by our parents, by the older generation, I'm talking about the generation that really saw things, right? There was a generation that saw things and communicated to us. Then there was a generation that told us ignore it and get yours. I think that those are the two groups that I grew up off of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just reconciling, man. Two very popular, like a movie and a cartoon chain, man. The fucking Grape Ape was supposed to be a black dude. The motherfucking Planet of the Apes, man, was they was niggers.
Yeah. Okay.
They
There
were
was
ne-
that.
they were niggers with the hard G. They were niggers. Watch that series, man. Watch
No,
that series,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No,
man.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Did
And
you
that's
did you no, wait? Did you see all of them?
I seen them all.
Yeah,
I seen them all.
I
And the
can't.
my thing is, as a child, I couldn't understand if you're telling me that this simian is just intelligent and probably even more intelligent as any human. But when you go thousands of years into the future, the whole place is a desolate swamp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey,
So
that only technology they got is guns.
and see that's the thing about it is that paranoia when you think okay when the movie like that is made and it's absence of white men, all things just fall the fuck apart.
People, people
Is that should I be paranoid about that when I see things like that? And I'll give you an example of it. You remember it was a graphic comic book, right? The Last Man on Earth, and they made it into a series too, where some kind of disease killed every man on Earth
mm,
except for one man. I think it was
mhm.
two men, right?
He was the president's son or something like that.
He was
Or he was with the president's daughter or something like that. So he has some connection with the president. I know.
something like that, right?
Mhm.
And women in the military, women in government, and everything, but it fell apart. So you telling me we ain't got women that works nuclear power plants? We
Mm.
don't have women that you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but that was his story.
But that's the point I'm trying to make to you. When somebody's writing a actual, if it's a screenplay, they write it from what their point of view, what they see.
I
But
mean, you have to. That.
I think that's why that one program, that's why the Planet of the Apes was not really realistic, because if you tell me this person, this ape is so super intelligent that he can speak just from listening, and he can teach others to speak. They all can speak in all this, and they all have the same kind of digits, just a little bit. and shit fell apart. You living in motherfucking swamps.
Mm.
You mean to tell me you can't make it? You understand what I'm saying? It's like it depends on who's writing this thing. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, ah, and that, that's thinking too much on my part.
I mean, that's what material like that, artistic material is designed to do, is to make you think, man. People. As as time progressed, man, people took that aspect out of art. But art was meant to, like I said, make you think and be provoking and shit, and in some cases jarring. But that's just I mean, that's just pandering to underlying dysfunction, man. That's all it is.
Okay. Is it a difference between art and entertainment?
That's different. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, you think look at Van Gogh, man. Van Gogh died broken and insane. And
Hmm.
now, shit, you gotta pay money to be in the room with his art.
Yeah. I think a lot of times that when artists die out of sympathy and just out of rarity,
Mm,
that their stuff becomes more, I guess, valuable,
yeah,
which is crazy.
They were just holding out hopes to see his mummified ear, man. That's all that was. Morbid shit.
All right.
I'm sorry to hear about your job. Yeah,
He said holding out to see his mummified ear.
like you took it there, boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hell of a show, Keith.
I did. I just want to throw that out there, see what who
What
latch
sticks on
on
the
to it.
wall?
That's all.
What sticks on the wall? Whether or not it smell or not. Yes, sir.
Hey, yo, man, Keith. It's about that time, man. And don't take us off live this time, brother. You ready?
All right. I'm not gonna kill our momentum, but I'll see y'all on the other side. Welcome everybody to this episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
and our other host, Damon Armstrong, will be joining us momentarily.
Prompt,
Momentarily,
promptly.
you know, uh, we are the Armstrong boys. When they talk about our mother and father, that's what they referred us to, Armstrong boys.
Yeah.
But we're men, and we've been on this earth, and what we're trying to do is bring to you quality conversation, not just our own, but we ask the chat to contribute to what they feel that they need to talk about, and also it's about giving your opinion from your point of view more than anything.
Yeah.
That's where we're going from.
And I gotta say, man, shout out to the chat, man. Hey, they've been kicking ass the last few episodes, man, for real, with the comments and the input and the questions and everything, man. We our base is it's small, man, but it's sturdy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what it is. We have good folks that really and truly understand where we're coming from, and I believe they appreciate what we do.
Hmm.
I
Just
mean,
they're thus far, man, they've been open to what we've been trying to sell, man. It's we're no, I don't think we're any less passionate than anybody else. You know, our points are just as poignant as other, other pods are or whatever, man. But we have a delivery that we maintain. We have a camaraderie that's always there. Even when things get tense.
Yeah.
You know, conversations, man,
And
conversations.
conversation amongst men and women. That's what we do. I mean, and see, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not speaking for both you guys, but I know I can get on here and rant and feel that I'm right about my rants, right? But understanding this platform when we started was there's always going to be room for rants, but there's also a lot more, double the room for listening and taking it in. You don't have to, if I don't agree with you, your job is not to convince me, right? My job is to listen to what you're saying. And if I don't agree, I'll tell you why not. And then you counterpoint. That's the art of conversation more than anything. Because what I think it is, and please guys, give me your opinion about this. What I think it is building character to move forward in everything that you do.
Move, move forward with the facts that you have available, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where a lot of people's conflicts lie, man. They don't give a motherfucker a chance to finish. Give me a chance to finish, man, so you can see if you entirely disconnect with my statement, man, or you could pick up some things. If you could pick some things up, then as you said, Keith, I don't need you to agree with me, man, but just don't treat me like I'm a goddamn fool.
Yeah. Yeah. Sister-in-law said Nixon 5.
Well,
Look,
can you imagine living with her? Living with her?
man, see, my thing is, I'm a hope to die Piston fan from the days of Dave Bean, when ML Carr was with us, Kevin Porter was with us, Bob Lanier was with us when we made the playoffs, but we were still bums. You see what I'm saying? We didn't win a playoff series. So Nixon 5, if it happened, it happened. But guess what?
I don't care.
That young
How many
Dave building.
how many championships do the Knicks have?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, so they went behind us.
That's
Next.
real. Philadelphia 76ers, how many behind us?
At least one. Next. They 2 behind us?
2 behind.
Okay,
Even
then
though,
they ain't
even though I'm a Dr. J fan,
okay.
that's my guy. That was my guy. I was hurt. Damon was going. Abdul Jabbar was Damon's favorite guy, and he was going for the Lakers in that series. And
Still is.
I was hurt twice. I was hurt twice. You know what I mean? Even though I was rooting for Magic because he was a homeboy, but I was
But
hurt twice when the Sixers lost.
but you think about the city of Detroit and the narrative that people try to carry, man. They go with the bad boys, man. And all that, and they try to look at us like, well, they blue collar, and they don't really have no stars and all this and all that. No, okay, let's talk about Hockey Town. How many stars we got there?
Yeah,
Tigers, they got what, 1 or 2?
3. Either 2 or 3.
When you talk about a championship city, aren't we a part of that conversation?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They act like players go to Detroit to die. Man, get out of here, man.
Oh man.
We got championships. We got banners from the top to bottom. Western Michigan just won the National Hockey joint.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Michigan is a championship state.
It is. Let me put it like this. It is a state of winners.
That's right.
Because look,
That's right.
we Midwest, we are Midwest kids. The Midwest kids, especially from Southeast Michigan, and it's not excluding the rest of Michigan, but Midwest kids, what we do is we go everywhere and we thrive. See, that's the one thing that I'm proud of. And we got Southern roots because come from Alabama, come from Mississippi, we come from Arkansas. You feel what I'm saying? We come from so that's understanding these things. When somebody say, "Why are you loyal to these teams?" Because they are ours. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, so you know, uh, but the thing about it is this. Now that we even talking about the sports, man. You and I, the three of us, was talking about this earlier before we came on. I haven't watched a lot of ESPN lately because it's sensationalized journalism, yellow journalism, really and truly, and I think it should stay out of sports, right? See, I think in regular journalism, you have your opinion. The journalist gives it to you, and it's up to you to research it, but you have your opinion about it. But when it comes to sports, people love sports. But why do people come in and try to demonize whatever person? And I'm not naming no names. Like, let's keep names out of this. But demonize whatever sports figure just for people to come and view it. You know what I'm saying? So, as I told you, gentlemen, I was on YouTube, which is my favorite channel. But I was on YouTube and I was watching a clip from ESPN, and Mark Morris, one of the Morris twins, the one who's retired, right? He was on there giving great commentary about the Warriors and Minnesota. I mean, not Minnesota, the Grizzlies playing game, right? And he was doing it and all this, but see, I had to. I'm gonna keep it a buck because I like the fact that him and his brother put together great NBA careers, right? But I'm gonna keep this a buck, man. When he gets on there and he's made a great point, I can't even remember the point. But when he said he was trying to give them, the Grizzlies, credit for being scrappy, and he said those young YNs are gonna come to play. I chuckled a little bit, so I'm not gonna keep it. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I chuckled like, oh man, this dude is a fool. As old as I am, I understand what YNs mean, right? But then I thought about it more and more, and this is not extremely, but I was angry. Like, bro, why is that? Did you do that because you did not have the confidence in what you were bringing forth? Which I thought he was making great points. But now you want to come slick out the mouth with that. But if Skip would have said YNs, I'm gonna let y'all comment on this. If Skip would have said YNs, or Dan Orlovsky would have said YN about the NFL, people would have been on their shit. They would have been picketing the whole thing. And for anybody who not on the young slang, YN means, excuse me, because I don't say this word. YN means young niggas. And this man said that in front of millions of people. Now, the Obumake young lady, she knew exactly what he was saying, right? And she chuckled. I think Stephen A was on there. if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Stephen A had a straight face because Stephen A is a professional. You feel what I'm saying? So he wasn't going to show any, but tell me what y'all think about that.
I mean, it's one of the more useless features I think that the world tries to place on black people, man. The fact that we think that we need to bring some personal of our own to a situation, man, to kind of black it up or make it a little more hipper or air quotes relatable or whatever, man. Sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot. I'd like to know what the I had to see it, to kind of discern the context for myself because it's a slip of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? It could have
Yeah.
been a slip. You think it was purposeful?
If you see it, and now this is only my opinion. If you watch it, he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, but it was it live?
Yeah, yeah.
The thing with me, man, is that people try to adopt that phrase, that word, ignoring the fact that it's a negative connotation, man. Definitions of what they are, man. But young folks, they like, hey, man, we gonna take that word over and make it a positive thing, right? And people our age, ain't nowhere in the hell you can make that positive, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna hit us different.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna hit us different. But therein lies the divide, man. Can you imagine a white supremacist hearing that and saying, "See, I told you." They know what they are. See, that don't even factor in this thinking process.
But this man
You know
is
what
in
I'm
his
saying?
late 30s, though, bro. It's not like
Wherever
he's a young chicken.
that might be the case. But what my point is, for us, we know that the definition of that word is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And as he broadcasted and said, in the cavalier way, there are some guys who say, yeah, man, hey, I know who you're talking about, won't be offended by it. But to the people that it matters most to, listen to it and say, that's offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be associated with that type of thing. So herein lies the problem. People who are offended don't say anything. You said Stephen A had a straight face.
Now, I
Stephen
mean,
A he could have said, hey, yo, bro, I really appreciate it if you wouldn't use that type of language, man, because it's offensive to me.
yeah.
How many people doing that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But then you had that section of our community, man, who would take offense to somebody's offense. Why do we as black people feel the need to defend other black people's statements and so and such and such, like they had the power to embarrass us as a race and all this and all that? And yeah, I get that. I understand that, man.
But
Because
they don't have a power
they,
to
they,
embarrass us, though.
yeah,
So,
I think one of our most powerful freedoms, man, is the freedom of speech. And I get it, man. I get it. But there's tact. There's appropriate times. You know what I mean?
yeah. And you know what? To be honest with you, I'm not trying to. And it did sound like that, but no, I'm not trying to demonize that brother.
Mm-hmm. I
Not
get
at all. I just think, that a lot of times, see, I'm not the type of dude. This is how I feel. I'm not like the type of dude who is the verbiage police. You know what I'm saying? Who will pull the brother to the side. Yo, man, that's gonna make us look bad. I'm not that kind of person when you're saying something, right? But if I detect, and it'll bother me if I detect that you are trying to be clever in doing this because a lot of podcasts, and I told you guys this earlier, a lot of podcasts I don't watch because they let that word fly. Sports podcasts, they let that word fly. You know, and I'm talking about older men let it fly. And like, bro, I know you don't say this word as much as you say on this program during the course of your day. So you
But
just saying it. But go ahead.
it, it's not just verbiage though, man. I mean, y'all remember when Cam Newton had everybody dabbing and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a drug reference. Then the next thing you know, 2 years later, you know, you see memes or whatever on the internet with white preachers in the pulpit that
Mm.
you know what I mean. It's what how do you want to represent yourself, man? You know, I mean, I'm quite sure there's things that I've said on this platform, man, that you know, shit. When I'm 65, I'm gonna be watching this, and I'm gonna say to myself, "Spo, why the fuck you say that? Or why you say it that way?"
I get
You know what I mean? We got a footprint, man. We got a footprint.
you.
You know,
I understand.
especially in this digital age, man, and we got to pay attention to it.
We
But
do.
YN is a negative connotation, man. You can't parse it any other way.
I mean, it's true. It's
You know what I'm
true
saying? You
because
can't parse it any other way. And at that point, he should have been checked. Somebody should have said, "Hey, man, I don't appreciate that."
and
You know
they
what I'm saying?
probably did say that afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. I'm not trying to villainize him and say, yo, no, but it's like I was caught by surprise that he said it, right? Not because I know him personally, not because of anything. It was a simple fact like, bro, that does not have a place in professional basketball. That's all. And this is not me pointing down on it and looking. No, it's like, man, come on, dude. Like if we sitting in a if we sitting in a room with him and we all sipping on something and we just debating the facts and blah 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 and blah blah blah, I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
It all depends on how many
Because
times you say it.
no, but here's my point. It's between us. It's just our little small group. But he's in front of millions, and you know it's gonna be kids watching this, young kids, young women, young men watching this, and they gonna get slick out the mouth. But then what they're doing is misrepresenting themselves.
Can you imagine having a conversation with your brother talking about, "Yeah, man, I understand what you said, but no, N word, no, N word, no, listen, N word, no, N word, listen to what I'm saying."
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Are you
man.
gonna have a conversation with a brother like that, man?
Look, listen, I couldn't do it when I was a youngin', man. I could not do it. I'm like, all right,
Because as a youngin for us, as a youngin, that word was to boy somebody, man. My N word.
mm-hmm.
It was to boy somebody. You said that's how black people used that word when we were growing up. It
Yeah,
was to boy somebody. It wasn't a term of endearment.
look, the minimize it.
White people use it in a certain way, and black people adapted a negative connotation to it also. All right, all right, my N word.
Mm,
You my boy. That's what it meant to us. This whole new thing, you know what I'm saying? It's offensive. Because
yeah.
when we were using it back in the day, we used it to boy somebody. It was offensive. It was never a term of endearment.
So
But now people are willing and they say, hey, man, I was with my N word the other day, man. And so who was you with? You was a boy, somebody that you boy that you don't respect. For us, that's what that means.
yeah. So let me ask you a question. When people try to uh, 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 what do you say, take it back, adopt it, not let it bother them. In your opinion, we'll start with you, Damon, and then you, Jaquari. In your opinion, why do you think they do it? Just keeping an open mind about your answer. But why do you think they actually like, yo, this word don't bother me? You know what I'm saying? This I'm going. This is not offensive. So what do you think about that?
Who,
Damon.
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, he was going in and out. I think people took on that word, embraced that word, man, because they felt like we're taking control of that word and the narrative, and we're not offended by that, because y'all can't hurt us with that word anymore, so on, so on and so forth. But by definition, the word is still the same, man. Unless you look into an urban dictionary, but
Who
in the
invented the
Oxford
urban
John,
dictionary?
it's huh?
I said, who invented the urban dictionary? We didn't. But
That's
go
what I'm
ahead.
saying. What I'm saying is when I hear it, it's a lot of podcasts where I listen to that and I thoroughly enjoy it. But when they use that word, there's something that triggers in me like, man, you know, it kind of sounds uh, unintelligent, man, to be honest with you. Why would you call each other that? You know what I'm saying? For the world to hear and see and all that stuff, like it's not for me personally, it's not normal. It's offensive. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, back in the day when we were growing up, that's how you boy somebody. Hey, my N word, go fetch me a beer. That's how it was used when we were growing up. You know, now it's a term of endearment. My guy over there, that's my N word right there.
Jaquari.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jaquari, tell me what you think.
I agree with Damon, man. It people, black people, I think, man, took up that banner, man, as a means of ownership, man. It's the same reason Christians put Jesus on the cross. Fucking cross is a murder weapon.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We embrace we even if it's bad, we embrace our roots as best we can, to have some sort of collective identity, and
Okay.
the ties that bind, that also cut sometimes.
Cuts deep.
That,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
man. That was kind of heavy.
yeah, that was a killer, boy. That was a killer.
I got a million of the motherfuckers.
Look. I had to throw a little bit on this, a little bit of sauce on it. So just put mayo on that ham and cheese. That's all I'm saying. Because you made a great sandwich just now. Now, Lori Nicole says, I put it on the screen, that's not how they use it today. Young folks in different races call each other my nickel, and people aren't offended because of the context of it.
I mean, look, I've been in rooms, man. With my job, I've been in rooms where there's not a black soul but me, man. But the word is bounce back and forth, bounce back and forth, man. And it is it's a filler word. It's like or when people say like.
Mhm.
A lot of young people say, you use the N word, nigger, as a filler word.
Look,
It's because it's become a part of our etymology.
but see, and then that's where understanding what Lori has said and understanding what you just contributed to it. It does not matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Because the majority in these kind of situations does not rule. The only time the majority rules is if it's a vote for a president, a senator, or a mayor. See, this is what we do. I think, and y'all, yeah, and you guys, let me know what you think about this. I think that we combine it so much that everybody think this is cool, even though it's not. Everybody think this is cool. Well, okay, then we might as well ignore it because you might be in the minority of complaining because everybody else is going with the crowd. You see what I'm saying? When they buried the word back in the 90s, they buried the word, nigga, right? I'm like, well, what is that going to do? Everybody has to be on par with that, meaning other communities have to stop saying it. You're going to tell me, which I've been doing the whole time, but you're going to tell me I should, because the word was buried, I should ignore what is being said at me when you're trying to minimize the man, the human being that I am.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you guys this: in a scenario where somebody outside of the black race uses that word in a negative, connotation towards one of us, do you think that gives us the right to cause physical damage to that person?
Nobody has the right to cause physical damage, but it's understandable that that person will pursue physical damage. That's
I
my view.
understand where you stand. I understand where you're coming from now.
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying? We ain't friends.
doing physical harm to someone. Oh, I can't do that. But I understand if you are hostile and you berate me and berate that person in that manner, and that person is the kind of person like, yo, wait a minute, that's going too far, and he or she want to act on it, I understand it. You feel what I'm saying? That's all.
What's difficult?
Go ahead.
What's difficult is try to do to differentiate between the A and the hard ER. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Come
hell
on,
no.
man.
Hell no. No, it's no way. Don't
You know what I'm
say it.
saying? It is what it is, man.
You going at me using that word. All right. How many times have you guys been around a white person? I've not had a white friend try to justify him saying it, right? But I've always found it funny, and it's not to harp on this word, but I always found it funny. Like, oh, bro, you guys say it. Oh, this is my ace, Jaquari and Damon. I know you guys have had white men as your best friends, right? But the thing about it is, because you're my best friend, and I'm kind of speaking for the both of you, because you're about my best friend, doesn't mean that you could be disrespectful towards me because you know this word is disrespectful toward my community.
See, the thing is, I mean, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want to sound corny or anything, but to me, Damon, I didn't see Damon as white. My friend Damon, I didn't see him as white.
Okay.
And when I seen him as my friend. I never judged. We never judged each other on racial standards.
We only do that, but go ahead.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it was. I never felt that I was in any situation with him that he would think to use that word. Would I put it past him? I mean, shit. Depending on how mad I made him, he's not Jesus, but he was somebody who, like I said, is my real friend. So I never seen him as white. It's one of my dudes.
And he,
I would never say that he was my nigga,
yeah, and that's the thing
but
about
you
it.
know what
He
I
would,
mean.
but he would not cross that boundary with you because you know him
I
and he
never,
knows you. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
never felt the threat, and not because yeah, I'll do this to him. No, because he never showed me that he had that in him.
And there's no way no. There's no way. Go ahead after this, Damon. It's no way. I want to say this real quick. There's no way I'm gonna call another a white guy that word. There's no way. But
If
go
you go
ahead.
by the true definition, you can.
But see
You understand what I'm saying?
that true definition was brought about so we could choke it down because we heard it so much.
But the true definition is no longer there.
Oh,
If you look,
shit.
if you look up the word,
And then I know, you know what? Oh,
if you
you're right. You're right.
if you look up the word nigger, it means ignorant black person. Now that's in the dictionary.
But the true definition is someone from that region, and it's Niger.
Niger. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing, man. It's no different than somebody telling me, "Hey, what's going on, my boy?" Imagine somebody walking through and say, "Oh, what's going on, my boy?" Man, I'm 59 years old, dog. Come on, man.
Not everybody is raised like that though. Not to have like
You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog.
To have the level of respect that we have as a community for our elders. Not everybody, not other communities don't have that.
Is that a problem?
Or
Is that a problem?
I mean, look, I don't.
At some point, this is the point I'm making. This is the point I'm making because sometimes I have to be checked by it. Sometimes it slips out of my mouth, but I do recognize that it can be offensive. You understand what I'm saying? So what do you stand on, man? You know what I'm saying? People cross the line when they see that you don't stand on anything. You know, then it becomes this term of endearment. Are you out your mind?
Fuck out of here with that.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what if I got on here tonight and say, yeah, man, me and my bitch, man, we just went and paid tuition, man,
that
for the grandbaby and shit.
Hey, bro, that hurt my ears just now. But go ahead, keep going.
That's what I'm saying. You know, me and my wife been together 40 years. I've never used that word against her.
That's
ever.
Good.
You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I was conscious about that, because if I got used to saying it, and I started seeing her that way. It's a conditioning thing. You feel what I'm saying?
It's easy. It's a shortcut into disrespecting because you say you love a woman, and this is my.
And you call her that? Come on, dog.
If you able to call a woman that, no matter how much you love her, what it does is it inadvertently trains you to harm her emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Hey, look,
Because
if I was to go upstairs right now.
Now I'm not talking about saying it out of anger because we're emotional creatures. But you say it under your breath. You in the room behind a closed door. Oh, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, look it. If I was to go upstairs right now.
You would not say that to her face because now you putting her in a box that got nothing to do with how you feel about her. But it makes it easier to disrespect.
So you have to be conscious enough to not even say the shit out of anger.
Yeah.
Because it can be saw as that offensive to that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I was to go upstairs right now and I call my wife the B word, she gonna look at me like, and my son will be talking about, hey dad, respectfully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't you ever call my mama that shit again.
Yeah.
I know my son. That's exactly what he would do. Because it's offensive.
It is.
It's like the N-word is offensive. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten conditioned enough to, if you see a cat you ain't seen in a while and he call you the N-word, man, starting off, you be like, oh, hey, what's going on, my guy? Yo, yada, 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 yada. Ain't nothing happening, my N-word. Then you're going to be like, okay, now if he call me that shit one more time, I'm going to have to check him on that. We'll have to check him on that because he know deep down because we too damn old for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We you know, if you focus and think about the age difference, man, Gen X's and all that. You know, Keith, you're part of the baby boomers, the ass end part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's unheard of to call each other that, man.
Yeah.
Because we're close to Jim Crow. Hey, boy.
Our life experiences and the way
Right.
the way we've been treated by white and black folks who have a horrible opinion about us, you can't forget that.
You do not want to be placed in the category as the N-word. You do not want to be that.
Yeah.
Based on your manhood. You know what I'm saying? Because it's demeaning. It's designed to either put you in your place or make you feel lower than who you are.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So when I hear somebody constantly say it over and over and over again, I change the channel. Because I'm like, he had good content, but his responses was, but what about this, man? Well,
yeah. So let me ask you a question. YN softens the blow, but is it just as wrong? Because you know what it is.
For me, it don't soften the blow because it's putting them in a category of something that we had to overcome from the past.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? It puts them back in that space. Or these, you know what I'm saying? Young. When you say young, that means immature and trying to find your way. You put the N word on it, that means that you confused and you don't even know how to find your way.
Double and tripling down.
Right. That's what it is.
For me, man, it's the fact that they would choose to shorten it. Why you know what I mean? If you go
who came up with that shit, man? Real talk.
I think it's a this came out somebody's region where they didn't want to throw it out there like that, and it was, and we're in the shortened thing with the Texas and shit like that. So guess what? You said, what's going on? What's going on here? These YNs out here wilding, and it caught fire. And I get that.
It's as bad as me. Oh man, that's my girl, man. That's my bottom bitch. Really?
Yeah, and say that's my whole point.
Really?
It's really this to actually just bringing it out is the simple fact of this. I'm 60, and the same thing is not changed. Is not evolved into something either worse or even better. It has stayed the same. You feel what I'm saying? And people have attempted it, but me personally, I have a problem with it because it's still the same. I still hear the long version of it. Young. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is.
How would John if we walk up to Pop and say, "Hey, what's up, my N word?" First thing he gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the whole point. And this is not, this conversation is not to divide.
And all our uncles.
It's not to divide and choose a side. It is to question why.
But big dog, why?
Let Ja'Quari speak real quick, man.
Yeah,
then it's you.
I don't know if y'all ever had a conversation with Pop where he used those words together, young nigga. But every time I heard those words come from his mouth, I was getting scolded. He was chewing me the fuck out. The fuck is you thinking about, young nigga?
Yeah.
That's how it hits me. And I didn't. And Pop was not a person to drop that word in conversations. He didn't use it.
Yep.
Another phrase he uses, I don't know. Fuck you mean you don't know.
So
You know what I'm saying?
what was you about to say, Damon?
What I'm saying, man, is that it's generational. It really is. And the thing about it, what divides us is that we as older folks is never gonna embrace that. So that's gonna continue to keep us divided, man.
But okay, good point. Both of you guys, good point. But here's my thing: we're not divided. This is what I think we making a mistake in. And then comment on this. I think we making a mistake in because I don't like it, you don't like it, that we divided, right? But my thing is, uh, Lori Nicole is saying, "Oh, it's generational." No, everybody don't like to be called that word. I don't care how young they are. Everybody don't like it. I think the majority of them don't like that word. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying to you is we can't keep putting it off for, oh, it's these young folks that's feeling this way. No, because when I said that they was burying the word, it was in the 90s. And I was still in my early 30s when they was trying to bury the word. They had a damn funeral. You know what I'm saying? So it's the thing about it is, what do you? It's degrees. That's what I think. It's
Is
degrees.
it healthy, man? I
No,
mean,
I don't. I
let's
don't think it's
just keep
healthy.
it funky. Is it healthy, man?
I don't think it's healthy.
You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy at all. It's just it became accepted because the masses was doing it. You know what I'm saying? But that never changed how it made you feel uncomfortable. It's like, wow, man, okay. You know,
Ignore the
that's how
pain
you're going
like
to address
ignore the
it.
pain like it's arthritis.
Do you address somebody that you expect in that manner and justify it? Can you do that? You know what I'm saying? That's a question that each person has to ask themselves, man. To bring about a coalition, man. Hey, man, we're going to address each other in a respectable manner that we can come and talk as men, be it agreeing or disagreeing with each other. But if you lead with a negative connotation, it's like, well, who was this? That's just like leave the basketball court after a heated battle, and you like, hey man, good game, B words.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Where that makes sense? It don't make sense.
It don't. All right. Well, look, I got two things I wanted. There's a couple things, but this thing got a little heated, which I like. Um, so one of the three I'm gonna save to next week. But Jaquari, what we do during the week is we send each other topics that we can cover. And what Jaquari did, he sent a topic what he think would be a good one for the three of us. And what he said was, as a husband, I'm paraphrasing, and Jaquari, you can clear up if I misquote it. It said, as a husband or the main breadwinner. That's the only thing I changed in this, Jaquari. As a husband, oh no, I take that. As the main breadwinner who is paying all the bills and the head of the household, is it too much to ask that the wife is, or the mate? Is it too much to ask that the mate is physically responsible?
Fiscally, bro.
Okay. So it's either PH or F, man. We know it's an F. Fiscally.
Fiscally, yeah. It's a word, bro.
I know it's a word. What are you talking about?
Why you say physically then? Hey,
Y'all silly, man.
You paid
did you
attention to
Y'all
every.
silly,
You
man.
paid
did you
attention
just take
to
a breath?
every. Yeah,
Did you just take a deep breath?
I had to.
Oh
I
my
had
fucking
to
gracious. Oh
because
my,
it's your sentence.
Hey, Keith.
my goodness gracious.
Now, if
Hey,
I
Keith.
get yeah, man, what's up?
Hit him in the head like he would have done you. Hamburger, cheeseburger, motherfucker. You
No,
understood the
it's
meaning.
physical and fiscal. What the fuck? I'm gonna keep going.
Oh my
All
God!
right, yeah, okay, all right. I get it. You're right.
Now, no, fiscally is a word too with the ly. It is.
Yeah, but
'Cause
Yes.
you said physically. The word is fiscally.
you know what? Hamburger, cheeseburgers.
The two don't
Hamburger,
the two don't
hamburger.
the two don't even live in the same house, brother.
My man. It does. It actually does.
Fis, fi, fiscally and physically.
Okay, so tell me
let
why
me
it don't
let
make the
me
same
let me
word.
read the question. Let me see if it's physical or physical. You said physical.
Yeah, that's where I send it to you, right?
Yeah.
But see, uh, one of the jerky boys over there, Uncle Spoke.
Oh, fuck off, Keith. Okay, all right. My bad, sir. I'm sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
No, that's quite all right. Because we can spend time with you haggling over my pronunciation of your word in your question,
But I
or
mean,
we
it's
can move on.
yeah.
Do
What do you
Professor
choose
Fluke
to do?
do Professor Fluke need to step in?
What do you
Nah.
choose to do?
The definition of physically. Let me
Yeah.
see.
It's two different questions, man. I mean,
Oh.
you change the word, you change the question. I mean, that's how English works.
Okay, so if I change the word, and we're gonna move on from this because you was on some. If I change the word, if it's physical,
Mm-hmm.
physically responsible, right?
Mm-hmm.
PHY, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is that different between FI, physically?
F,
Phys-
FI
Physic,
mean FI means money.
Okay, so
PH means
PHY
Keith,
actually going through the process.
actually going through
Keith,
the
no,
process of spending the money.
nah, Keith, nah,
See,
brother.
this
I,
what I'm talking about.
I can't let you have that
You
one,
on
brother.
you on that
No,
bullshit. You
it's
ain't
not
gonna have to
bullshit.
have. Yes,
You said, all right, Sport. We gonna talk about your question, and then
yeah.
ask a totally different goddamn question.
I did not. It was there was one freaking word that didn't change the question, but you
Yeah, it did.
interrupted to
It did.
say
It did.
no, you didn't.
It
You
Hey,
did.
didn't say,
It's yes, it does change
and
my question. What you talking about?
now we got to get it over to freaking and fucking now.
I mean, basically, that's what the fuck it is.
No,
What
no,
it is.
no, no, it's not. What it is Keith. You was wrong, brother. Just eat that.
Oh my
It's cool.
god.
It's cool.
Hey, we talk off camera on that tip, bro. The question
No,
is,
no, I ain't talking off camera about nothing. No, this
I
is.
tell you what,
What the,
just read what's on the screen. What's on the screen.
right?
So they in the same neighborhood.
no, yeah, okay, no, they're not.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Come on, man.
Fiscally is planning. Physically is the action. That's what it is.
All
Okay,
right, Damon. We'll start with you because Jaquari needs to compose
because
himself.
I'm on punishment.
No, Jaquari needs to compose himself because you messed up my question, Keith. There's something wrong with you, man.
See, there you go with that shit.
Okay,
There
it's
you go with
shit
that
now.
shit.
It's
Yeah,
shit now.
yeah, it is, man. Because I got the right to goddamn police the way my
I
question is
didn't say
asked, right?
well.
If
What
you
you
say,
said
look,
was
Hey,
if you say this is a question
Damon.
Spoke gave you, and then you change the words, it's not my question no more, bro. That's what I'm saying.
because you took the time to write it out and you were specific in the question. When
Yeah, but move on,
I
man.
mean,
It's cool.
for me, man, it's about what me and my wife has always shared things equal, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do their part. you know, and there's a mutual understanding how to conduct business. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to somebody saying, "Hey, we're going to do it this way and that way," and they decide what gets paid and what gets bought and all that stuff. It doesn't work. It don't work for my family. You know what I'm saying? It's a mutual agreement with each other.
Okay. Myself, I more or less look at it this way. I've always wanted to be in position to where my household has not a care in the world. There's no anxiety running over it. So if I have to work and do the thing, of course I'm going to talk to her, but what I'm going to do is work hard enough, if I'm capable, work hard enough to make sure that everything is covered, and then there's room for mistakes. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the best way I can answer that, because what I want to do is make sure everything is straight. For me, see, the one mistake that I think people make, and this is my own personal opinion, is when you enter a marriage, you spend most of the time trying to please everyone in the marriage. I can't do that because it comes down to your personal opinion and your personal beliefs while you're married to somebody. Because I've seen examples and I've lived through examples of going above and beyond what I'm required to do and still be told that I'm not doing enough. So I understand that I can't depend on what everyone thinks of me inside or outside my family. Is me getting it done and making sure it's straight.
What I was thinking when I thought of the question was the fact that, because I recently fell down a rabbit hole about, the African American dating scene and whatever, or black men and black women looking for, potential husbands and wives, right? And you got the man, from the male point of view, I guess it's everybody's dream, which is, I mean, I'll fill in the details about that, in a second, but it's every man's dream to be head of the household and take care of all the bills, and let his wife be able to stay home and take care of the house, there physically, and but and when you listen to the women speak, it's about, yeah, I want to be able to, let him go out to the world and earn a living, and I'll stay and take care of the homestead or whatever. But all these women, when they say these things, they're looking for a guy with six figures. They're looking for, a certain amount of material success to be already established or whatever before they even get there. And when they get there, they want to be able to use those resources as they see fit. I've never heard a woman say that, if they were in a position to be a stay-at-home wife and mother, or whatever, they would do everything they could to make sure the books were straight. They always, I'm, and I don't know if I'm hearing them wrong, but they all speak from a point of being able to just spend willy nilly. You know what I mean? But it, if I'm going out into the world and you staying at home, and that's the deal, you got to be careful about how you spend the money. None of them speak about financial responsibility. None of them speak about the cushion that every marriage needs. You know, Even if these women say that, well, yeah, I got a job, I make shit 6 figures also, but my money is my money, and his money is there to maintain the house. I've always thought that was absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. I mean, it never made sense to me. It never made sense to me, man. As traditional as our parents were, Ma always got up and went to work. Always got up and went to work. I never pictured myself with a life where my wife or my partner would just be at home. You know, and what kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? Because you hear a lot of men say that we don't care about women and we don't care about women and their accomplishments. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. We really do. We really do.
Uh, I don't. You know what I mean? I'm proud.
So
I'm
you
proud.
so you care about it.
No, well, see, it
Wait, wait,
depends
wait,
on
wait, wait.
what you mean by caring.
Yeah.
Because
Let me explain. Let me explain.
okay,
When I say caring, not caring in the fact that this my wife's accomplishments are going to help boost me in other people's eyes. No, I'm coming from a point of view that we're- I chose a smart woman. Chose a very smart woman, and ambition comes with intelligence, and that's something that we both try to put out there in the world. Do something with your life, man. You're not meant for just the traditional thing.
For me, man, it's real simple, man. I have to only speak from my own experience, man. If I'm in college and I'm getting a degree to get a good job, to build something, I'm trying to find a partner that's trying to do the same thing. We come together because the strongest union in this world on this planet is a black man and a black woman dealing with all the things that we deal with. You know what I'm saying? If there's a mutual understanding that we are here to build something together and take on the world together, that's a beautiful thing. And it's a perfect union. You know what I'm saying? But if you in college and you get with a female that, hey, you know what? I don't plan on graduating. I'm just looking for a husband to take care of me. Do you take on that challenge or do you avoid it? It's a real simple decision to make, isn't it? That's what it is. Because the man could be a breadwinner and fall on hard times. And that woman who got something over here can come over and supplement the income to take you out of hard times. Then it's a mutual thing, man. It's two people working in conjunction in a conjunction with each other. Now, if you want to factor in egos and all that, hey, I'm the man and I run this and I pay the bills and I take care of the house and all this stuff, then that's something else. And that's a whole nother discussion you can have with your partner. You know what I'm saying? But if she's an educated woman who's trying to build something with a man, do she fall into that category? Do she accept that? You know what I'm saying? Because we can always say me, mine, and this and that, especially if we get in our feelings. Well, this is mine. But if it's a mutual thing, it's ours. You know what I'm saying? And we make mutual decisions on how to move forward. And that's not a difficult conversation to have, man, with your partner.
No, it's not. I mean, but me personally, man, that way of thinking is just antiquated, man, to the point that it doesn't serve us anymore. It really doesn't, because honestly, it my wife has made more money than me throughout the majority of our goddamn marriage. Now, if I was to say, well, shit, whoever make the most money is in charge, I'm cutting myself out of the goddamn game. It don't make sense. What I got to go?
What do you mean?
I got I got to go out and get another job, because that's, to me, that's what everybody is relegating a marriage to, man. Whoever makes the most money has control and interest in the marriage.
I mean, look, What I think is the simple fact is this. You both bring up two great points, but I differ from both of you in this sense. I do not look for someone to marry because of what she brings to the table, but what she does for me. I was blessed and lucky to get someone who wanted to do those things for herself. But to for me to go out, I look for compatibility. That's what I look for. So if it was a woman who just had a regular 9 to 5, and I was in college and I met her and we connected, that's all that mattered to me. Now I'm not trying to differ on purpose from the both of you. No, it's you both know this is how I see things.
I
Now,
think, man, I
oh,
think
hold on,
out of
hold on,
fairness,
hold
we
on, hold on, man. I'm not done. Because see, here's the thing. I respect everything that y'all said. So it's not like I'm disagreeing with you. No. What I did was find someone or look for someone. That's a better way to put it. Look for someone who I could match with on a personal basis.
well, doesn't that go without saying, bro?
No, it doesn't go without saying because if it goes without saying, you guys would have said that in the first place. That's how I
Oh,
see
course,
it.
you see now you parsing statements now, man, to
No,
both say
I'm
your
not.
own argument.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. This is how I saw it. All I just did was say to you what I looked for. You told me what you looked for. Ja'Quari told us both what he looked for. I just told you what I looked for. And then you told me, well, look, doesn't that goes without saying? No, I just responded to no, I don't agree. That don't
We
go
talking
without.
about we talking about fiscal responsibility, man. Breadwinners and all that. We
This,
talking about
this,
that.
this is what we're talking about.
Now, if you're talking
I didn't
about
say from that.
if you're talking about
No,
on the emotional level,
it has nothing to do with an emotional level.
what you're looking for, that's a different conversation, bro.
I did not stray from the question. What I said to you
Okay.
was it didn't matter, was my answer. That's how I just answered it to you. It didn't matter to me.
Okay.
That's all. Like I said, I see what you guys are talking about. So I'm not saying you're wrong. No, no. I'm far fucking from that. You know what I'm saying? I don't disagree with you. I'm saying to you, as me as a person, that's what
Well,
I see.
I misconstrued your presentation there, bro. Let me put it that way.
Misconstrued my presentation, my man.
Yeah.
But listen, you know what's so crazy about it is we fool ourselves. This is in general. We fool ourselves into thinking there's only one way to do this shit, and it's not because it has a lot to do with personalities, man, and characters. What kind of
I
people we
totally
are?
agree with that. I
And
totally
what
agree
kind of
with that.
people we are is well, how much we can actually stand. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's been times I've shared things with both of y'all, and y'all looking at or whether or not you witness it. Y'all look at me like, what the fuck, dude? You actually accept that? You
I
feel what
remember
I'm
one
saying?
time, man. I remember one time you was listening to me and my wife talking, and I gave her my check, and you pulled my collar to the side. You was like, "Man, you gave me the whole check." I said, "Yeah, man." Remember that?
Yeah, because
And I
not
said,
because not because she was gonna fuck it off, not because she was gonna be selfish.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
That's because through our maturation process, what we went through, The check before that, the previous check, I fucked it off like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? Throughout my working
Willie
life,
nilly having fun. And she was like, okay, motherfucker, we need a budget.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's worked out since then.
one thing about it though, throughout my work career, man, I've always made sure I kept me a check the fuck off.
That always had. Look. I called it jack
Hey,
off. I got that from my dad. It's called jack off money.
I
You
know. I
have a
know.
couple. You got twos and fews where you will not fucking miss. You know what I'm saying? Because that keeps your head in the game. Keeps your head in the game.
I remember me and Pop was working construction together. And he came to me, man. We got paid. He said, hey, man, let me hold 20, son. I said, well, hey, Pop, I'm broke, man. I just paid my student loans and this and that and that and this. He said, you ain't got no money left, son. I said, no, I had to pay bills. He said, hey, son, negotiate the bills, man. Be incentivized by going to work every goddamn day. You never give up all your money, man.
Never give up all your money.
Shit.
And that's the truth because you know what your wife is going to do? And this is throughout the ages. She got a nest egg somewhere. It's what it is.
Man, look, I don't want to be general, but every woman I ever had or ever known has always stole money. I mean, that's a simple
No
fact.
doubt. No
I
doubt.
don't, I
Stolen
don't,
money.
yeah.
Look, hey, Flip.
I,
It's stolen money when you don't know shit about it.
I
Man, listen. It's stolen. Hold on. It's stolen money. Come on now. We all know they keep nest eggs and shit just in case money.
Yeah.
You don't either?
but yeah.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned to do that.
That's all I'm saying.
That's real.
And that's that money she stowed away, and the money you got over here her just in case, and money you got stored away. When the shit hit the fan, all that shit converged.
Yeah.
We got to get these motherfuckers off us.
Yep.
Now, when if they hide it when there's a struggle, then it's stolen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But how good does it feel, man, when you're struggling and shit, and some shit happen, pop up, and be like, man, what we gonna do? I got my part of, I got what I got, and then she come up with some shit, and you be like, oh man, we good.
Make you wanna sing. Oh,
we good. The only difference is I'm gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna keep this just in case money over here. She gonna find a new hiding place for hers.
listen, I'm gonna tell you the crazy shit. Didn't y'all just hear me try to hit a note and fell flat as a motherfucker? Ja'Quari, I seen you over here like this. But
No
look,
man,
go ahead.
it's
Go ahead, finish up,
it's
man.
real it's real deep, man. When you trying to be the man in the household and you falling short, and then your woman come to you and say, "I got you, babe. Don't worry about it. We good."
I mean, but that's the thing because you are being successful at being the man. Look, the breadwinner is not automatically the man of the house. It is people, it is folks sitting there making the everyday decisions and giving up. See, I've always felt like that we give up a lot of our life for a woman, for our children, right? And women can say the same thing, for a family setting, right? But the thing about it is, why are you giving it up? Are you giving
Yeah,
up
but
for
it's
a return?
still
Are you giving up for a return? Or are you doing it because you don't want that anxiety and say, yo, I can pull up my bootstraps for another 2 weeks.
yeah. But when you say I'm gonna give it up, aren't you just hold on just in case?
Bro, that's the holding on just in case. Getting it paid. See, look, all right, let me just say this, and then y'all go ahead. The way we grew up, both our parents working, but guess what? You understood when shit got cut off, when shit was going on. So my stance is, yo, I'm gonna pay this so it don't get cut off. I'm releasing that anxiety. You understand what I'm saying to you? I can hold on to it to the very last second, but me, anxiety, because I'm an overthinker, always affects who I am. You get what I'm saying? So
Oh, I'm gonna do my level best. I'm gonna do my level best, but by the same token, if I can't, I'm gonna be like, damn, I hope she can make up the difference.
no. That's
You know what
what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying?
I'm not debating you because my wife has came through many times after I exhausted everything. You feel what I'm saying? Now, it wasn't a permanent situation, but the temporary thing I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate because what it did was form my character as a person. And it made me see who she is. I mean that's precious to me. You know what I mean?
It's really quick, man. And it's sort of off topic, man. But I want to touch on a word you used a few minutes ago, Keith. Man, the word reciprocation. Now you said something to the effect of, you sacrifice things and give up things, man, with with no, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, no expectation of reciprocation. Why not though? You know what? Today's society, man, we've made reciprocation, a foul thing.
No, and I agree
Yeah,
with you
yeah.
I
because
never heard that.
I agree with
It's
you, but
it's it's a foul thing because
I,
Damon,
I think about
I've heard you say many times, man. If you give something up, it's because you wanted to give it up. Nobody forced you
no,
right.
to.
no, no, I
But
know you
but
heard me say
but
that.
yeah, but I'll say, in a relationship, especially, man, when you're giving up something, you know, it should be a reciprocal thing that when it's time for you to ask something to be given up, that shit
Uh-huh.
should happen. It should happen.
And I agree with you totally. But let me ask you this. What if she don't have the character that you have? No matter how much you love her, she don't have your upbringing. She don't have the thing that makes you who you are, who she can depend on. She just quite don't have that. Then what? This is why I say
Yeah,
you've
no,
heard
but
me say, if I give it up to you, I'm gonna give it up to my family without any expectation.
then she had no business entering into this institution. Marriage is an institution,
But
and
but
and when it and with institution comes parameters and rules, man.
I get that. I understand that.
But what if she's right, man? What if you're passionate about something, but she's right in terms of the household?
No,
Okay,
no,
that's
no,
that's that's
okay.
that's that's
Let's just stay on his question real quick, and then we'll approach your question, Luke. All right. Really and truly, to address what you said, is I give it up because I want to give it up. That means a couple things. I'm not giving it up to her because she is who she is. I'm not giving it up to her for that. Fuck that. No, sir. I make the decision, yo, this is how I want this family to be. This is how I want us to keep continuing forward. This is my personal belief in this. So I will give it up. So I'm sort of being selfish when I do it.
Right, and in control too.
No, it has nothing to do
see
with
this.
doing control
Um,
because you giving it up because everything is exhausted.
okay, say the thing that you're willing to sacrifice is a physical thing. Okay, and this particular physical object is a hindrance in your marriage. Okay, so you're going to voluntarily give it up. What if that same thing that's a hindrance to your marriage is an obstacle to your wife, and she doesn't want to give it up. That's the
I am.
that's the
Good.
part of reciprocation
I
that
get
I'm
that,
talking about.
but see, correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying if you're able to give it up, she should be able to give it up also.
In some cases, but
Did I- did
I'm saying if I'm willing to give it up for the betterment of the marriage, then
okay,
then I don't believe I should have to go into some long soliloquy about why I think she should give it up too.
okay,
You know what I mean? Because this is what we're doing.
okay. So the only impasse that we have is the simple fact that I give it up for the sake of what I want, the marriage, right? She decides because I've been here before. I've had this conversation. She decides, well, yo, I'm not you. I can't do it. Now I gotta make it. I gotta say, I'm not gonna sit here and be upset about it. I gotta make a decision just how long I'm gonna give her to change it.
So you
And
can't give up to her selfishness, man.
but see, that's the whole point.
Okay, let me explain
How long
my
how long
reasoning.
can I give up how long can I give up to her selfishness? Because she
Well,
refused to give
but,
up
but
something I gave.
what you're describing is that you willing to decide what happens, right, based on what you're willing to give. Is that what you're espousing?
No, man. No, not at all.
No, because it's not
Okay,
No, no,
it's
no.
not
It's
not a
giving it up
scenario.
for the health of it. This is
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. It's for the health
here's
of
an
it.
example.
This is the health of the
It's
relationship.
it's not a
Go ahead.
scenario.
Here,
It's not a scenario, man, where I'm being petty about. Yeah, I gave it up, so you need to give it up too. No,
Okay.
that's not what I'm saying, man. I'm saying, look, I took it upon myself to make this sacrifice, and I need you to make this sacrifice also for the betterment of the marriage.
right, I
Because
get that.
there are
I get what you're saying.
there are things that a wife will ask her husband, and there's a complete expectation for him to comply. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. And it's that, and
And,
that's not
I,
always reciprocated. That's what
and,
that's
I,
the point.
and I understood that completely. But go ahead.
Here's my point. If my significant other comes to me and say, I ain't had a dress in 3 years, and this one I've been looking at for the last two, I want to go get that joint. And then I say, well, that doesn't coincide with our budget and how things gonna be, whatever. I ain't incumbent upon me to make a sacrifice for that dress she been wanting for the last 3 years.
But nobody said that they were not willing to make a sacrifice. We
But
talked
that but
about
that has
making.
but that has absolutely nothing to do with my decision, other than
We're
to
talking. We're
cooperate.
talking. We're talking about our sacrifices toward the situation. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about denying whatever she needs. You see what I'm
I
saying?
don't see it, but see that's my whole point. This is what I'm struggling with to a certain extent. I don't see it as a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it as a sacrifice. If I say, hey, if I want to go get this hat, this schoolboy I've been wanting, whatever, I don't expect her to say, well, it's going to be costly, man, but you know what? Based on us being together, let's make a decision for you to do that. No, if she a hardworking person, she earn her own money, whatever, she should be able to go get what the hell she want to get. You know what I'm saying? If it don't affect the house,
But see, that's the whole point. The question is geared towards affecting the home. Now,
right?
nobody's talking about denying her if it's see me personally, if it's her money, I'm not gonna deny it. That's how I see it. What I'm saying to you is this: understanding that I would be willing, even though I may not want to or agree at the time, for the sake of everything, allow this thing to happen.
So do you hold yourself to the same standard?
If I do it that way, of course I'm gonna hold myself to the same standard, man.
Okay.
Of course I'm going to do that for the simple fact is this, because if I gotta sit here and I gotta debate with you about tit for tat things, there's something we need to work on. You see what I'm saying? So the original thought was, hey, what I said originally, like, hey, if I give something, I don't expect anything back. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm giving it.
By virtue of the fact that you're giving it, you are expecting something, man.
What?
Because you recognize the fact that you're giving it.
No.
You're making a sacrifice. I'm giving it, so go ahead.
Okay, so it's no expectation. You know what my expectation from that is? Things going smoothly and that person being happy. That's the expectation.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going. I said it earlier. I'm not going tit for tat. Well, I did this for you, and da da da. Right, but
Right,
if
I
we're
got
in an
that.
argument, and I feel it's an impasse and you on some petty shit, of course I'm gonna say, because I'm immature, yo, I fucking did blah 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 blah, and you ain't saying nothing about it.
or something as simple as, God damn, how come every time we sit down to eat, you eating bologna sandwiches and we eating casserole and shit?
Yeah. But not appreciate the fact that you eating fucking bologna sandwiches and we eating fucking casserole. You know, listen, that personally, that was always hilarious to me. I'm like, I'm biting into my motherfucking roast like I'm good. What the fuck is you talking about?
At no point in time, man, did y'all ever get tired of that shit, though, man. I hate to be this guy. Man. But you know, man, when I moved out the house, man, I was glad not to see another motherfucking neck bone, a ham hock, man. A goddamn Dutch oven full of cornbread.
Hey, Philip,
I wish I could have that.
Man, so
with the blood pressure and everything.
I still can't eat. I can't eat that shit to this day.
Man, please.
6'8"
Can't do it.
and strong as a fucking ox because you ate that food.
Hey, look.
Hey, Keith. Hey, this came easy for me. I'm dominating.
Yeah. Pot liquor and cornbread.
Ham hocks, bro.
Pot liquor and cornbread since I was an arm baby. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Look,
but goddamn it, man, you know, like we look.
What did you want to eat?
I want McDonald's, man. I wanted a goddamn sandwich every once in a while, man. Like goddamn, you know, we got to wait. We got to wait hours for the food to get done. Like goddamn.
Quiet. Your ass would have been 19 years old with high blood pressure and shit and diabetes eating McDonald's.
Look here.
No, not
hey,
it was real food.
Eating out the garden and shit.
No, I mean, eating salt pork from a freshly slaughtered pig with bacon. You know, being able to cut your own bacon. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Keith, that's half a hog for a whole year. Are you serious? They got to go to the store.
Look, did you like them pork chops?
Yeah. Hey man, you know what I miss, man? I miss, you know, when grandma used to make the salmon croquet and the biscuits, man. That freaking syrup, man.
Yes, sir.
The molasses.
Cairo. Was it Cairo?
No, it was molasses.
It's the brand name started with an A, but it wasn't Cairo syrup.
It was dog molasses, man.
It was both. It was molasses and there was a Cairo. I don't remember the brand name for the molasses.
You mess around and the hog gets slaughtered and it's in the deep freeze, and then they bring home a pack of bacon from the store. You can see the difference.
What the fuck is this?
You can see the difference, man.
Hey
I'm
You
man,
know
gonna
what
tell
I'm saying?
you know
no,
what? Go ahead, Jaquan.
I'm saying when I was a little kid, man, I thought all bacon was like 2.5, 3 inches thick and shit.
Yeah, I was
You know
getting
what I'm
ready to
saying?
say
Like
that. You know what's so funny? When you go
Yeah.
to the grocery store,
this ain't no bacon. What the fuck is
what,
this?
Hey,
listen, look, look,
you cut you two pieces be full as
yeah,
hell.
yeah.
It's a sandwich. It's
Look,
a
look, look.
goddamn
When
sandwich.
you go to the grocery store and you look on the package that thick sliced bacon.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No,
It ain't.
Hey,
Look,
it's all marble and shit.
hey,
yeah,
hey, yo, you be like, what a Ryan at? Ain't no Ryan on
yeah,
this
man.
shit.
Yeah. Look. Learning how to cook salt pork. You gotta boil that shit. Put it in the pan, put some water in there, boil that shit. Then you're
Man,
gonna have some great salt pork. You know
See,
what
y'all,
I'm saying?
hey, you sit up craving some shit, man. I want some rhubarb. You
Yeah,
go out the yard,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
go out the yard, pick you some rhubarb and shit.
Mm-hmm. Some poke salad and shit. Hey man,
Look,
yeah,
growing up with family from the South, man,
yeah.
you got that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all remember when Grandma used to make that crackling, man? You,
Crackling.
you
Yeah,
want to talk?
man.
Yes, sir.
You want to talk about some dope? I'm
Yes,
like,
sir.
these are skins. This what is it? We
Yeah,
all get. That's
yeah,
all it
man.
was, man. It was this pig rind, man. That's all it was.
I'm gonna tell you a
Hey,
funny thing. Like
when
my
grandma
dad.
made the crackling, it wasn't no hard part. You crunch down on your teeth and hurt your teeth and shit. That shit was, it was like straight up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you a funny thing is maybe about a week ago, my youngest son, Carson, he asked me about chitlins,
Mm-hmm.
right? He said, Dad,
I
do you
can't
eat
eat no
chitlins?
sugar, bro.
Da 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 da. I said, bro, the last pot of chitlins. I said, you know how much I love. I tell you how much I love your grandma, how much I love her dearly, right? I said the last pot of chitlins I ever ate was your great grandma. She was the only person that I would eat chitlins behind because I watched her clean those chitlins 4 days in a row. The monotonous process,
Hours.
hours of doing it. And she explained to me why. She said,
Yeah.
she said, Keith, this is the pig's intestines. Do you know what intestines do?
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, ma'am. She said, this is where the tutor. She didn't call it the head, so she said the
The
tutor.
tutor. Mm-hmm.
This is where the tutor. This sends everything in the tutor. She said, Keith, whoever he said, your next wife, if she don't clean chitlins like this,
Mm-hmm.
leave her alone. And
Look, man.
I saw her 3 to 4 days, hours cleaning because grandma had the double sinks.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
And
Maggie Johnson told me, man, if you look by the time you done cleaning chitlins, if you can't see through them, you need to go back.
yeah,
You need to
yeah,
go back.
Hey, and then if you mess around and get clogged up or whatever, she'll burn some bread, charcoal, eat that
yeah,
with some cholesterol and shit.
yeah.
You cleaned out.
I'm gonna tell
Start
you.
all over
I'm gonna
again.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing about it is most people don't know that. You burn the bread, the charcoal,
Mm.
eat the charcoal, it's gonna go right through you, and you gonna be clean.
Yeah, charcoal's a filter. It's a natural
Yeah,
filter.
yeah. So, last topic of the day, and I want you guys' opinion.
Mm.
It's about nepotism. All right. Are you familiar with the comedian Roy Wood Jr.? He started off, he really started. He's a great stand-up comedian, right? But what he got famous from Comedy Central, right? This brother said when a plumber brings his son into the business, it's called um, bringing his son into business. You know what I mean? No problem. You know what I mean? And he also said when a carpenter when a restaurateur bring their sons and daughters into the business, it's called bringing them into the business. There's no problem. Nobody says anything about it, right?
Hmm.
But he said nepotism is solely judged from the rich.
People who have the advantage to put their children steps ahead of other people. Yeah.
And he asked, why? Why do we judge the rich about being, the nepotism, and we don't blame anyone else in the lower economic realm as nepotism? Nepotism.
Well, traditionally, man, that's how the trade guilds were established, man. Because a father would take his son out, when he's 3 to 5 years old, take him out to the woods if he's a carpenter, show him the right trees to cut, how to cut those trees, how to build from those trees and everything, man. And that's how work and trades were uh, 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 passed along. That's why you have people with the last name Carpenter,
Yeah.
people with the last name goddamn,
Woodson.
whatever, huh?
Woodson. Chopping down wood. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, that's nepotism is traditional. When you're a man, when you're a parent, and you have something to pass down to your children, a skilled trade to pass down to your children. That's nepotism. But when it comes to the rich, a lot of times, we see rich children as being inept.
So is that jealousy or what it is? Because rich children are pampered, but to give them what their fathers and mothers worked hard to give, people have a problem with that.
Well, I mean, if they give their children, if they hand their children down certain things or whatever, and there's no room for anybody else, that's what I have a problem with. But I mean, you'd be a fool not to make sure, not to ensure that your resources stay in the family.
Include your children. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it's foolish not to do that, I think. So I
Yeah,
don't have, I mean, does it seem unfair? Yeah, but if I had the opportunity, shit, I'd be all over it.
yeah.
Right. Isn't it tribal, man? Let's just be
Of
honest.
course, of course, of course.
Trying to
So,
get the lion's share, bro.
so do you, Damon? Do you see the difference between the lower economic plumbers, restaurateurs, bakers, whatever, whatever, right? Bringing their children on, and then the richer folks bringing their children on, putting them in position. Is there a difference?
No, there's no difference because I ain't no hater. I didn't see a lane, man, that opened up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And those people who take advantage of that lane that's opening up, some of us move up to the upper echelon. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because if you take away one, you're definitely going to take away the other.
Gotcha.
So
I got,
why even risk that, man?
I got you. So is it restricted? Next question, real quick. Is it restricted with family and friends as far as nepotism, or uh, like communities?
Yeah, I don't. I
Because
mean,
that's about that. That's definitely about nepotism too.
I don't know the dictionary's definition of nepotism, man. But for me, nepotism would extend to people outside of our bloodline. Absolutely.
Yeah, expect.
Anybody.
I'm talking about the fairness now. I understand it would
I
extend.
don't. I don't think fairness factors in.
Okay.
If I have something, man, that especially if I see something, if I'm doing an established thing, and I want to pass it on, and what if little Keith or Carson, they're not interested in it,
Hmm.
you know? Do I let it die, or
I
do
see.
or
That
do I?
part.
Yeah. So
I see.
That's definitely issue. It's not an issue, but it's definitely something that you have to factor in.
Yeah, because you think about like
especially if you have the resources. If you are in that position, of course you want to extend it, man.
Mm-hmm.
you think about all the fucking mom and pop stores we knew back in the '70s and shit growing up or whatever, and they closed down or whatever because the kids they didn't want it no more.
Because I think, just veering just a little bit, I think that parent taught their children to want more other than that store. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot of times what we do off of survival, our culture does off of survival, like, yo, I'm doing this so my kids will have a better life.
But do you abandon the base though?
See, and that's where you and I agree. You shouldn't abandon the base. You shouldn't do that, right? But here's the thing. If you're heavy-handed in the age, son, I want you to go to college. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a lawyer. But you have this thing, this mom and pop situation that is lucrative. Your son or your daughter is not going to look at it to keep it alive because you have told them this is what I want you to do, and you inadvertently told them I don't want you to do what I'm doing.
But see, that's what for me that's where the disconnect comes in with the rich, because it's very rare that you would see a situation where the rich would train their children to take over the business. See, if I have a mom and pop establishment or whatever, and I choose to send my son to college, is going to be more than likely I'm going to do what I can to guide him into something that's going to benefit our business, our base.
I like that. I understand. I get
Now,
that.
now, once he established himself in college, and then he's got decisions to make, whether or not he wants to relegate his life to
Right.
the storefront,
And that
or does he want to make his own way?
so that depends on the character of your child, your little girl, your little boy. It depends on how
Or,
they see what you're doing.
or being appreciative, because I went to school with two guys, man, who father's business uh, took care of their tuition in college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With the understanding that they're going to go into the business, man. So it's a decision to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But then just to do the opposite of what you just said, because you went to a private school and a lot of money went to your school. Well, I had a brother whose father, I think it was in the Midwest, maybe St. Louis, whose father owned 10 McDonald's. Now this is in the 80s. He owned 10 McDonald's and he went to school for business to take over his father's business. And what his father did was, I need you to come in and control this interest, and I'm also give you 2 McDonald's that's your own personal.
Hell,
Because once you get those kind of, see, most people don't understand. If you get one McDonald's, McDonald's is going to give it away to you. Is what they're going to do. You see what I'm saying? But our community don't know that.
Keith, I mean, the Bartons.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's a prime example right there. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that hurts. That hurts. But go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're still involved, in whatever business that they started or whatever. But
Casino businesses. First, it started with cable. You
mm,
know, Mr. Barton's brother strung all he what he did was he sacrificed the moment. He strung all the cable in the city of Detroit. Because remember, it was this Univision. And Univision only had his own thing. What he decided to do was he strung all cable across the whole city. So he dedicated 10 years to do that. Once it was strung, they came in and bought it from him. So it was 25 million dollars or so, right? And what he ended up doing was investing in, because he knew it was coming down the pipe,
Casino.
casino.
Yeah.
So
That's
he got one of the first. He got the first two casinos in Detroit, one or two casinos in Detroit, and he went to Vegas. And you know what? I got to share this with everybody. Uh, Mr. Barton's daughter, and Mr. Barton's niece was my high school girlfriend. And when I was a senior, still ready to go to college and play basketball and all this, her uncle came to me at a family reunion and he looked at me because her mother and father loved me. And I'm gonna tell you, Debbie Barton was a beautiful soul.
May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace. But her uncle came to me. He said, "What is your intention when it comes to my niece?" I said, "I care about her and I want us to last." Now I'm 17 years old right now, so that goes as far as I cared about her. So it was, that was my girlfriend, right? But he said, if you, he said, I'll make a promise to you. If you stick this out, all what I have will be yours. But I'm 17 years old. I didn't know. I didn't understand what that meant. Had no concept of money. I had no concept of anything. And this man became a multimillionaire. And then his brother, he helped his brother to get two restaurants in Detroit International Airport. Mr. Barton became what he became. And they were great people. I want to let people know that.
but the reason why I brought him up was, I mean, I didn't know. I don't know like how the kid situation was, in the family or whatever. But I mean, did any of the children go on to
I think so. I
and
think so.
and that's nepotism right there. I
And,
mean,
and, and, and and that's a great thing.
Yeah,
Nepotism is a great
Debbie was
thing.
a she was an anchor
yeah, she
on
Yeah,
was a
in
a
Toledo.
weather anchor.
in
Yeah, in
a
Toledo she was an anchor. Then she went to weather on the West Coast. You know what I mean? And then she, cancer and all that thing. Like I said, she's a beautiful soul, man. I always been grateful to who she was as a person. Period. But look, any last words before we get off of this episode, Jaquar?
uh, it's been a good episode, fellas. Nice conversation. I definitely look forward to the next time, man.
Okay, Damon.
My last words is, man, we hear on a lot of subject matters, man. I think that we as a people need to focus on unity, finding some way to get together, overcome our stripes and struggles, man. Because, man, uh, uh, when you just look at the content today, even on TV and cable, whatever, you see brothers hating on each other, man. Um, how do you define a man by how you play a game? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the game is just a game to a man. You know what I'm saying? What does he do outside of that? That's how you define them, you know. So I think we in a time now, man, in this country, man, we have to come together with each other, come to an understanding, man, of how to move forward with each other. We talked about using the N word and all that stuff. How you gonna respect the brother if you define him as the N word? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna do that? You know, it has to be some respectability there, man, across the board. Unity. Other communities do it. We have to start.
You muted, Keith. You muted.
Hell, I thought that was a mic drop, man. Was that a mic drop, bro?
Look.
Or was you muted?
You did what you did. Yeah. Yeah. Now, all I'm going to say is, because it was a mic drop, all I'm going to say is this. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You know, get boost our numbers up so we can get it out to everybody. Get YouTube put us in that algorithm so we can make some money. We can communicate with people and do what we do. And you see at the bottom of strong and on my joint is donations. If you feel free to do so, you see I keep saying my. We're using that strong perspective podcast joint. But you see the Cash App situation right there. If you want to send a couple dollars, then we appreciate it. To keep the channel going, to keep keep our livelihood. Because what we want to do, as I said last week, we want to get the camera systems that's gonna bring out the handsomeness of Uncle Spoke and Damon Armstrong.
Hey,
You
yeah,
see
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hey, Key, we trying to keep the lights on, y'all. So
I mean, look, I don't want to lie to him because it's
hey,
easy to keep the lights on.
ain't
But
no
my thing is, we want cameras, and the thing about it is, if you appreciate us, that's why I put the donations. If you appreciate what we give you, hit us up, hook us up.
Right. Or the least we can do is raise a garden or split a hole. You know what I'm saying? To come up with some recipes. You know
No
what I'm
doubt,
saying?
no doubt. All right, well look, great show as usual. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. We here every Friday. We're doing our thing, promoting conversation. We're promoting ideals. We're promoting everything that we need to promote. And this is what we do. This strong perspective podcast. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.